Good morning, fans, and welcome to the Midwest Donut Review Show. I'm Dave Leggett in St. Louis, Missouri. That is my son, Eric Leggett. He's in Sacramento, California, handling donuts on the West Coast. Eric, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great this morning. Thank you, Daylight Savings. I know, hot take. People aren't going to like it, but I don't care. I was able to drive into where the sun is rising and not be blinded this morning.
I think
Daylight Savings, baby.
It's a positive. You don't have to apologize.
No. Daylight Savings is over now. Or did it start?
Spring forward, fall back. So you lose an hour in the fall.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question.
Oh my God.
So are we currently saving daytime now? Are we in the process of saving daytime? Daylight.
Okay.
It's a yes or no question, dog. If you're so fucking smart about it.
I just want to explain it to you clearly.
Okay.
When you went to bed last week at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Now you wake up, it's 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So you lost an hour.
No, I gained an hour.
No. You spring forward. In fall, you fall back. You lose 1 hour.
No, but you gain an hour. Because, it'll be... I'm sorry. My person across the street is wearing, a Sully footy pajamas thing. This is a full-grown adult. Sorry to put this person on blast, but that was crazy to see in the corner of my eye. Back to the topic at hand. When you hit...
You get an extra hour of daylight. You get an hour of daylight earlier.
So we are currently saving daylight.
Yes.
Okay. So my hot take still stands. Thank you, daylight savings.
Okay. Oof. Man, I hope the whole show ain't a struggle.
Oh, man.
And here's the upside. I have no geography questions for you today.
Thank God. I was going to say, man, I was going to do awful at trivia because I've used all my brain power for this.
Before we get into let's talk about the show. So what we do is we try to buy 3 of the same donuts every time. Same flavor. We size, we price, tell you where we went. We rate them on a scale of 1 to 5. We always do a glazed donut because that is the minimum buy-in on your skill to make a donut. Mm-hmm. So, before we get into our donut news of the week, how we normally kick things off, I just want to give a tip of the cap. This is my tip of the cap to you for your outrageous trip to get apple cider donuts.
Thank you. Yeah, it was not a fun experience, but I think the score I gave those apple cider donuts really puts into perspective how fucking good they were. Because I think if you're breaking a 4 when you have to drive 2 hours round trip and wait in line for almost 40 minutes, that's a pretty good donut.
And I combined mine last week when I went to our regular donut place, Cruda Bakery. Mm-hmm. I only had about a 15-minute drive out of the way to head to Belleville, Illinois to get mine. And I was the only customer on the parking lot, in the store, and when I left, still the only customer. But that's okay. Quite a different experience than your Odyssey.
Yes, I was very much not the only person there to get donuts that day.
Do they do all kinds of donuts? I'm sorry, I haven't seen that segment.
No, it's just apple cider, just hot apple cider donuts. And they are hot. They are hot and fresh. They tell you when they give you the bag, and they're like, don't fold it up because you need to let these donuts get some air to them or you will burn your mouth.
Wow. It just goes to show what gamers we are.
Yeah.
What we will do, the sword we will fall on.
I will say
donuts for
also,
our fans.
They did have great hot apple cider donuts. I can't recommend the corn dog because it is like $6 and it is just a microwaved corn dog. So I don't think you should do that when you go there. I think you should really just get that hot apple cider donuts.
Do you have any idea how much longer they're going to make and sell them?
I really don't. It's all completely seasonal. If they sell out, they sell out.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
it,
know if you saw my segment, but the farm that I went to, they actually freeze some apple cider so they have it available through the end of the year. So every Saturday through December, the end of December, you can get apple cider donuts. And I think my score was a 4.5.
Yeah.
Maybe higher, but
it was a 4.5.
Spectacular. Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm glad they're saving up a little bit and doing them throughout the end of the year. But let's get back to show number 17. Eric, kick us off with a little bit of donut news of the week, please.
All right. So this one is based on our favorite Los Angeles-based donut chain. You know what I'm talking about?
Is this the 30-foot donut out front?
Yes, it is. Randy's Donuts.
Randy's. How many Randy's are there about?
That
are there more than 10? I don't think
know.
There are.
Maybe
I mean,
not.
Certainly a chain, but and I don't know that are there Randy's Donuts in like Vegas or Nevada, or
Vegas, I bet.
Yeah.
Because it's but it is Los Angeles based. Me and you have been to. They do have one in Vegas, by the way. I've just looked it up.
Of course.
So they have. Wow. Okay. So in the U.S., they have 9 in the Los Angeles County area. What is with the animal farm going on with you this morning?
It is a fucking animal farm.
This is ridiculous. They got 9 in LA County. They've got 2 in Orange County, 1 in Inland Empire, 2 in Fresno, 2 in San Diego, 4 in Vegas, 1 in New Mexico, 4 in Arizona, and 1 coming soon to Georgia.
Oh. Okay.
But that is not my news. My news today is that they are expanding to Japan.
Wowza, what a swing.
So, I thought this was a really big swing, but now I've looked at their website for all their locations. It turns out they have a lot of international locations. They have 7 in South Korea, 2 in Saudi Arabia, and then 10 in the Philippines.
Wow.
So they're pretty international, and they are saying they're looking to set up a total of 50 shops in Japan.
Okay. I wonder if they are going to tweak their menu for Japanese tastes, or if they're just going to say, this is what we do, love it or leave it.
I don't think they will, because I think part of the maybe charm or experience that they are going to bring from a Randy's Donuts to Japan is that, like, this is American donuts. You come here and you'll get an American donut experience. I think that will be one of the draws. So I think they won't tweak their menu. If anything, I think they'll tweak it in the opposite direction.
And make it more American.
More American.
Wow. Okay. So big donuts, and, well, we know how expensive they are in L.A. What do you think one's going to cost in them?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we know how they're fucking paying for all this expansion. These donuts are, pricey.
Okay, so Randy's expanding even further.
To
Still not as many as the two behemoths.
Yes.
But okay, take the swing. I wonder if there is a Randy and if he's still alive.
There's no shot. There's no fucking way.
Maybe I hope Randy's family is still in this.
I don't know, man.
Corporate sellout.
I
don't know.
As much as I would love to imagine that they didn't.
Okay, so here's my take on a couple of crazy donuts I found in the United States of America. There's a joint in Washington, D.C., and they are called Astro Donuts and Fried Chicken.
Fuck yeah.
The grease is a-boiling in Washington, D.C. All of their donuts are $5 a piece. So, they're a frou-frou joint.
Oh, yeah.
Here are some of the flavors. They have a creme brulee donut.
Fuck yeah.
Which is a crispy vanilla glaze and a vanilla pastry cream filling. Well done. Right out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
PB&J. Peanut butter glaze.
Ooh.
Strawberry jam and chopped peanuts. So up in the game. Their jelly donut, I found interesting. It is a powdered yeast donut. The jelly is a black cherry jam.
Ooh.
Again, that's frou-frou, baby. And for $5. Finally, the bourbon pecan. Bourbon in the pecan glaze on a yeast donut. It has candied pecans and a butterscotch sauce.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I guess I should have looked up to see if they're doing chicken and waffles with their donut take on it. I didn't go that far, but if you're doing fried chicken and you're doing donuts, you got to put them together, right?
Yeah, they got to.
Okay.
Especially when you have those fancy donuts like that. There's no way you get to like a PB&J donut with peanut butter glaze first in your thinking before you reach. You should probably put the fried chicken and donuts together.
Yes.
That's probably thought number one. And then peanut butter glaze comes after that.
So, Astro Donuts in Washington, D.C. Anybody go there? Let us know in the comments.
Please.
Our second place today, one of your favorite cities and states in the whole wide world. Today we're going to Brooklyn, New York. This is the donut plant, and their specialty is called a Ripple Donut. It is $28.
Oh my fucking God.
Wait a second now. Okay.
There's nothing you could tell me that will make this worth it.
Yeah, there is. You ready? It's a yeast donut. 4-inch yeast donut. Okay. Surrounded by a bigger yeast donut, which is 7 inches. Surrounded by yet a bigger yeast donut, which is 12 inches. So it is a gargantuan pile of glazed donuts. But here's the thing. For each ring of the donut, you pick a different glaze. Vanilla, chocolate, peanut butter, coconut, creme brulee. For the second donut, not the small one, but the one in the middle, the second donut, the 7-inch donut, you get to pick a filling for the donut. Fruit jam, chocolate pudding, or coconut cream filling. So it's a filled, triple glazed, 12 inches across, gargantuan donut cake.
It's not worth $28. No shot, dude.
Well,
picking your own I don't think that's anything, because it's not like I don't think you're like it's not like you're combining them. It's a ring.
So it's 3 rings.
It's okay. Still, so like, okay, you pick a glaze for the outer one. It's not like you're mixing that with the other two.
No, it's like separate donuts.
Yeah. So you're just getting 3
gargantuan donut. That third ring is huge.
You're getting 1 gargantuan donut and 1 pretty big donut and 1 regular sized donut.
Yes.
For $28.
But the second one is filling. So it's a filled donut.
It's not worth $28.
Okay.
Absolutely
All right.
not.
Anyway.
I'd pay 12.
When we go in January, I will try to swing by Brooklyn and grab one of these. And we will see.
Where are you staying in New York?
Out. What's that?
Are you staying anywhere near Brooklyn?
I mean, it's a train ride away. We're in Manhattan, but it's not that far away.
If you say so, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it all plays out. But $28 Ripple Donut at the donut plant in Brooklyn. Ba-boom. I thought it was just an amazing idea. I love the idea of it all.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. Not for $28.
Okay.
Fucking classic New York thinking there. So cool. We could charge $28 for this. These assholes will pay it.
While you review your glazed donut, I have to get busy with mine because Calvin the cat is pawing at him. So,
all right.
Where did you go? How big is it? How much does it cost? All of that.
All right. So today, I went to Donut Time. 9176 Kiefer Boulevard here in Sacramento, California. This place was hopping this morning. Probably the busiest donut shop I've been to so far. There was probably like 4 girls working the counter, just one after the other. Next, what are we doing? I will also say it's never going to like not be like crazy to me in my head that like people can go into a donut shop and get like 2 donuts and then just leave. It's like, what? You see all these donuts and you're like, just these 2 and that'll be it. That will never make any sense to me. Like half dozen minimum. They were also selling day-old stuff, which I don't see a lot of donut shops do. So I think that's pretty cool.
No, I don't know that I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it in grocery stores, but yeah. A donut place.
Yeah, doing day-old stuff for cheaper. So I think that's very cool. And so this glazed donut, I'd say was pretty good. It was 3.5 inches across, and this one set me back $1.60. So, I'd say on the cheaper end. I think the star of this was really the glaze. The glaze was very sweet, which I enjoyed, and the donut really melted in your mouth. It's not a thing you get.
I love that sensation.
Yeah. Like you bite into it and you could see the inside and it seems pretty dense, but 2 bites in and that thing has dissolved in your mouth. And I think that's a great thing for a glazed donut. Because it makes it feel very light when in reality it probably isn't that light. And I think that's just a perfect mix for a glazed donut. I think this is absolutely a glazed donut where if you bring in a dozen to the office, people won't be upset. It won't be a thing where you're like, wow, these are mind-blowing, but these are definitely a safe bet for sure. So I'd say this is an above average glazed donut. I'm going to give it a 3.9.
Wow, that is a good score for a glazed donut. We've had a lot of glazed donuts.
Yes, so I'd say this is definitely on the higher end of glazed donuts.
Did you, by chance, tell me how tall that donut was?
It was about
mentioned 3.5 inches across.
Yeah,
and that's what mine is, but mine feels small.
Yeah, I'd say mine was probably around like 1.5 to 2 inches tall. It was a pretty thick donut.
Okay.
This was not no Krispy Kreme bullshit.
Okay, so good start for your joint today.
Very good start.
All right, so I went to Daylight Donuts. They're 155 Hilltown Village Center in Chesterfield, Missouri. And let's be completely honest. Daylight Donuts is a chain. There's only one in the St. Louis market. I think there's one in Hillsboro, Missouri. And I did a little quick search, and there's 950 Daylight Donuts in America. I had no idea. You will never find us doing a Krispy Kreme or a Dunkin' Donuts unless we just want to drink a lot and just slam on those two behemoths. But each shop is independently owned and operated. So I'm sure it's one of those situations where you have to buy the ingredients from, the main headquarters, and here's how we expect you to make them and how your store should look and everything. But when in Rome, so we're in the Daylight Donuts atmosphere, and so we're going to give them a quick review here today. So the glazed donut is 3.5 by 3.25 oblong. It is 1.25 inches tall. It's tiny. It's a tiny donut. It's $1.29, so the price isn't terrible. But the problem is that dough, when you bite at the bottom where there's no glaze, is just flavorless. That dough has no life at all. The glaze is just okay. It's not amazing. It's not flavored. It's a chewy donut. Even though it's small, it's chewy. It's not an airy donut. It doesn't disappear when you bite it. I just keep coming back to the term meh. It's not a big donut. It's not a tasty donut. It's not 50 cents. This is a 2.7 for me.
Ooh.
It's just, you can't go to this joint for a glazed donut because it's underwhelming. Now, I will say this before we get too far. At night, they have boozy donuts. So I thought that was interesting, and I just want to mention it. So they have 10 flavors in all, and the donuts go from $1.29 to $2, which is not crazy.
Yeah, for alcohol with the donut, that's $2 is pretty good.
They do whiskey chocolate. They do amaretto vanilla. They do bourbon Boston cream, Irish chocolate cream, and a Kahlua chocolate cream are 5 of the 10 flavors. So I just thought that's a really interesting take for a donut shop to kind of, I believe it's called Daylight Donuts After Dark, which is, a cute name. And so we're going to give props where their props are due. You get 5% off if you buy 6 or more donuts. You get 10% off if you buy a dozen. But, sell me a better glazed donut. That's the bottom line. So up next,
that score is pretty sad because, I feel like most donuts just you start at a 2 just because it's a donut. Donuts are just inherently pretty good.
Yes.
So a 2.7, not ideal.
Small, flavorless dough, glazed, just okay. No. There's way better choices in St. Louis.
Okay, so our second donut was a double chocolate donut. Chocolate cake with chocolate icing. And mine was pretty good as well. The chocolate icing flavor, I think, was perfect. It was a chocolate fudgy icing. The texture was exactly how I like it, where it was draped over the donut, not sitting on top of it, or so thin that it's, transparent. But the cake itself, I think, was just too sweet. It was too sugary, too sweet, that you lost some of, a chocolate flavor. Luckily, you had a really great chocolate icing, so it was able to hide that okay. But, there's that whole bottom half of the donut where there's no icing on it. I thought the texture was pretty good. Really nothing to write home about that. But I think just the flavor of the cake donut, of the chocolate cake, was not where it needed to be. I want double chocolate, not chocolate and sugar. So I think the actual cake, something to be desired. The chocolate frosting, I think, was very, very good. This one was 3 inches across, a little bit smaller than the glaze, which it's a cake donut, so that's just going to happen. This was the same price, $1.60. So yeah, I think I want to give this one maybe a 3.4. It's definitely being carried by the icing. I think just a plain chocolate cake donut would not satisfy what you want out of a chocolate donut. So the chocolate frosting, very good. The chocolate cake, would like it to be improved.
Okay, so you mentioned the size of that cake donut being a little smaller than your glaze.
Mm-hmm.
To tell you how small my glaze is, my cake donut is actually a little bigger than my glazed donut. So,
Wow.
yeah, that's not great. So, my Daylight Donuts chocolate ice chocolate cake donut is also $1.29. The icing on this donut, it's poured on. You can tell they did not use a knife or a spoon. It is some sort of, maybe it's melted a little bit, and you can tell by the way that is decorated, it's poured on. And I think it came from a can. Like if you would buy a can of Betty Crocker chocolate icing in the grocery store, that's what this tastes like. And that's not a good flavor.
No.
It's like a hint of chocolate. It looks like chocolate icing, but it's not a fudgy chocolate. It's just not. It's just okay. It's not fried well. The bottom of this cake donut is crunchy.
Ooh.
It's old-fashioned crunchy.
Oof.
It's soft from the top about halfway down, maybe a little 2/3 of the way down, but the bottom is crunchy. It would probably make a sound if I tapped it on the table.
Oh, yikes.
That's not done well. The dough is a little dry, and it's very much like a box cake mix, which is, it's chocolate, but it's not going to knock your socks off. It's not chocolatey enough. How do you have a chocolate cake with chocolate icing and it doesn't taste chocolatey enough? How do you do that? Because you have just sort of plain flavors. That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 2.8.
Yikes.
This is what can be the downside of a chain location. You get a recipe, whether it's good or bad, that's what you got to make.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's a donut, it's a chocolate donut, but nobody is going to bite into this and go, wow, that's amazing.
What was the crowd like at Daylight Donuts this morning? Was there like a line you had to wait in? And
Well, they have a drive-through, so there were always 2 or 3 cars in the drive-through. When I walked in, I was second in line, but by the time I left, there were 10 people behind me.
Wow.
So pretty steady business, and
that's kind of crazy for me to hear for a great tone of town like St. Louis is.
I know. I guess there just must not be many options that far out west that aren't like a grocery store maybe or something. Yeah. So yeah, it was just it's just not impressive yet. We still have another donut to go, but man, how do you plain Jane a double chocolate?
Yeah, you've got 2 things working for your chocolate flavor.
Yeah.
And you still can't get there.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
So our third donut was a maple bar. Maple iced Long John. So mine, it was 2.5 inches wide, 7 inches long, about an inch tall, not super puffy. This one was a little bit more expensive. This was $1.75. But this was, again, a really good donut. The yeast dough at donut time is excellent. It's definitely not a flavorless bland dough. And the texture of it is just so perfect. Like the almost melt in your mouth kind of thing I got with the glazed donut, I also got with this maple Long John. how the dough just falls apart and dissolves in your mouth, I think is so good. So the dough, the yeast dough at donut time, they are doing it right over there. It's so good. I will say the maple icing left a little to be desired. I think this is just another case of making it too sweet and you lose some of that maple flavor. Again, maple's a strong flavor, so it was definitely still there. But I just think this one was too on the sugary side for me. I think it was just too sweet, and I lost some maple flavoring in that. But yeah, really the star of this is the yeast dough. I mean, we talk about Long Johns, and they're the kind of donut where, like, maybe you have some time before work. You pop into a donut shop, you get a Long John and another donut and a coffee, and it's like, that's your breakfast. And I think, well, that's fine, I guess. Like I talked earlier, people only getting like 2 donuts at a donut shop will never not confuse me. And I think this Long John, because of the excellent texture of this dough, like, this was almost just like eating like a glazed donut for me. Like, I feel like I could put a few more of these away just because of how light and how good the texture of this dough was, how super not dense it felt in your mouth. So I think I want to give this like a 3.5. 3.5.
Okay.
I'd say this is, again, like, what's done well is done very well. And the icing, I think, just a little more maple flavor, tone down the sweetness, and you've got a really good Long John.
Okay. As we've talked about, I believe the Long John is my least favorite donut because there's just so much dough to get through. If I want to fill myself up on donuts, I want good donuts. I'll do the variety. I'll do 4 glaze. But the idea of, well, buy the Long John because it'll fill you up, and I'm like, it's too much. It's too much of the same.
Yeah.
If you fill a Long John with something that gives it a little bit of life, and I can do that. So that being said, Long John's not my favorite donut, but I have been impressed with other St. Louis area donut shops' Long Johns that don't have filling in them. So my maple ice Long John, made very well. This is much better frying than that glazed donut. It's soft and not crunchy anywhere. Really well made. The problem is that dough, it's just lifeless. It is bland. There's no vanilla. There's no... Man, it's a Long John with middling dough is a bad combo.
Yeah,
it just is.
There's a lot of dough in a Long John, and you need something good about the dough, even if it doesn't have like a good flavor. If it's just bland, at least if the texture's good. If it's because that was, you said a Long John is one of one thing, and it's a lot of one thing.
Yes.
And that's, I think, what was so good about the texture and flavor of this dough is that it wasn't so much of that one thing because of how it was able to, like, melt in my mouth. Yes. I wasn't overwhelmed by how much dough there was.
Right. And the maple icing definitely brings it up a little bit. It's a pretty good maple icing. It is not great. It is not wow your socks. So it definitely helps the donut, but it's a 3.2. I forgot to mention, so it's 6 3/4 inches long, 2 1/4 inches wide, 1.5 inches tall. So not a gargantuan Long John by any stretch, but the price goes to $2.25.
Wow.
So,
is that the first time you've had a donut more expensive than mine?
Oh no, there's been a couple at our first couple of shows just by 10 or 15 cents, but yeah. So,
but this one is a significant jump from
$1 more. Yeah. here's the arm wrestling question for me. Would I rather have 2 glaze or 1 Long John from Daylight Donuts? I'd rather go somewhere else. Yeah. I mean, pin me so that I can drive my car over to, this was the risk. I didn't realize they were a chain till I got home, but we're going to give them a swing. And if they're doing it great, fabulous. But they're just not. This is, will all the donuts be gone by tomorrow? For sure.
Yeah.
And they have the Boozy Donuts program, so I think I would give that a shot. Those are a Boozy Donut for less than this Maple Long John. Yeah, I'm in.
And I am willing to bet that, they're probably still better donuts than Dunkin' or Krispy Kreme.
Our fans will never know from our show.
From our
just
show.
have to take our word for it.
Because there's a chain out here called Yum Yum Donuts, which I went to once, not realizing it was a chain, then kind of realized. One of their draws is that they're 24 hours, which I think fucking excellent. 24-hour donut shops are the best.
Yes.
And again, their donuts weren't great, but it's I'll absolutely go there over a Krispy Kreme or a Dunkin', 100%.
If you had to guess, or do you think they have 1,000 stores?
Oh, I'm willing to bet they're on a similar level to Daylight.
Okay. All right. So that wraps up. If you have the choice, go to Eric's place today.
Yes. Donut time. Kiefer Boulevard.
Bam. All right. So near the end of all of our shows, we turn it over to trivia time. Dun, 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 dun. And as promised, no geography. But we do have a question about a country.
Oh, God.
In which country would you find airy fried dough fritters that are translated into nuns' farts?
Well, I hope nowhere. If I'm being honest, nuns' farts is gross, and I don't think you should call donuts that. You gotta give me a hint. Where are we thinking, location, geography wise? Give me a continent.
It's in Europe.
Europe. Denmark.
No, it is France.
France. Those sick freaks.
I guess they are taking the fact that it would be because they're a nun, it's somehow a sweeter fart.
I don't think donuts should ever be
fart.
classified as farts ever. France, fucking sickos.
Okay. Which actress ate 20 donuts a day to gain weight for this 2004 movie? It was a sequel. It was a comedy. And it involved Americans and Brits.
Oh my God. 20 donuts a day. Fuck. I don't even have a fucking clue, dude.
Okay. How about if I give you the name of the movie?
Yeah, maybe I'll have a shot.
Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason.
Yep. No fucking idea. Could not name a single person.
You can't name the star of the 3 Bridget Jones movies?
I didn't even know there were 3. So no.
Okay. It's Renee Zellweger.
Oh. She's a star in this?
Yeah.
That's a bigger name than I thought was going to be the...
So, when it's time to pack it on, you know where to go. 20 donuts a day. So I'm going to look for acting jobs that require you to put on a massive amount of weight right before they shoot.
Fuck yeah. I could absolutely do that. They wouldn't have to pay me. Just pay for my donuts and we're good.
Yeah, that ain't impressive, Renee.
Yeah, what the fuck? We do that all the time.
You know what? We got to get her on the show and talk about eating what is it like? Does it become like you're trying not to gag eating 20 donuts every day?
Yeah.
For however
do you think
long?
they were the same 20 donuts? Like it was 20 glazed donuts every day?
Oh, God,
Or do you
it
think
can't be. It can't be.
I think it has to be. Because do you remember the Man vs. Food episode where he went to Crown Candy?
And he did the milkshakes.
Yes. And he got a bunch of different flavors.
Yes.
And that was his downfall. That's why he couldn't complete it, because he had so
That's
many
right.
different flavors.
He did say if I would have just got all vanilla shakes, he thinks
Probably
he
could
could
have
have
done
done
it.
it. But the flavor.
So that's why I think it must have been all of what, maybe like, maybe not all glazed donuts every single day, every 20. But I think when you eat the 20 donuts, I think that's all the same flavor. Just because I don't think you'd be able to do it if you got a variety of donuts every single day. If you give me 20 assorted, fuck, I don't think I could do that. I fucking love donuts.
That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're not eating anything else. And I wonder if she did it for like a week or a month.
Probably.
No, there's no way. She'd be dead.
Yeah, that's
She'd
that would kill someone.
I gotta get the backstory. I'm at least gonna send a note to her management team and just give me some details.
So far, it's worked out for the other management teams you've sent notes to get some guests on this podcast. So, what?
I have to be honest. I am afraid of the technology. How would we get our Will Ferrell on this show? Because I'm looking at this screen, and you're on an iPad. Where would Will Ferrell be for this?
I think if we got a name like Will Ferrell, we'd probably invest in better production.
Better than what we're doing now?
Yes, better than using like 4 different things to talk to each other and send video and audio. We'd probably invest in a better program that does it a lot seamlessly. Something that's not free for us to do.
Okay. All right. Well, see, I don't know if I want to spend our money that way.
Really? If Will Ferrell said, yes, I'll do it, and all we need to do is upgrade our program, you wouldn't?
Yeah, I would. I'm dummy. Of course I would. Okay. All right. So that wraps up show number 17 of the Midwest Donut Review. I'm Dave Leggett in St. Louis. That is Eric Leggett in Sacramento, California. And we will keep rolling through this and bring you some more donuts. Eric, a little legalese at the bottom of our show.
Yes, it is legal for you it's the law that you have to share this video or this audio, this podcast. You have to share it. It's the law. My dad just said it, so it's true. Wherever you can, share it. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Rate and review us. Comment, wherever you can. Comment on the video. Comment in real life. If you see me on the street, grab my shoulders. Say, go to this donut place. Because I absolutely 100% will. If a random stranger grabs you by the shoulders and tells you to go to a donut shop, I'm going there. Yeah, just share it.
And I'm hoping that if you get grabbed by a random stranger, it is immediately followed by some sort of donut thing.
Yes.
Anything otherwise seems like a break free situation.
Probably.
If donut isn't one of like the first 5, like, I love your show, you should go. Okay, I'll let you grab me. But if he's like, hey man, it'll be like, you better say donut real fast.
Yes. Get the donut shop out quickly. Lead with that, and then say whatever you want.
Yes. Okay, so that is show number 17. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you with another show real soon. Have a great day.
Bye.